The house trembles, a low, guttural vibration that feels less like a tremor and more like a heartbeat. The sound thumps through the floorboards, a monstrous pulse echoing in the suffocating silence. Lynn awakens on the cold, splintered wood, her head pounding. She pushes herself up, her vision blurry, and then she sees it. Her hands, they're caked in dried dark blood. Panic, cold and sharp, cuts through her confusion. She scrambles to her feet, her eyes darting around the dim room, searching for an answer, for any familiar landmark in this nightmare. And that's when she sees him. Nam. He's standing perfectly still, his back to her, facing a part of the wall that wasn't there before. A window. But it's not a normal window. It's a jagged, unnatural tear in the very fabric of the house. It's glowing with a sickly, dim light that seems to absorb more than it illuminates. The light doesn't spill into the room. It clings to the edges of the opening, a whisper of a world beyond. Lynn's voice is a fragile, raspy thing when she finally finds it. What? What is that? Nam doesn't turn. His shoulders are slumped, heavy with a weight she can't comprehend. When he speaks, his voice is slow, hollowed out, each word a stone dropping into a deep, dark well. The truth. A chilling presence prickles the back of Lynn's neck. A cold spot in the already frigid air. She feels a breath, impossibly close, and a small voice, distorted and ancient, whispers directly into her ear. It's the voice of the faceless child. Whoever looks will never come back the same. Lynn freezes, every muscle in her body screaming to run. But she's paralyzed by the sound, by the promise of damnation in that childish lisp. The scene fractures. Suddenly, we are inside the walls. Trang is there, her body contorted, fused with the plaster and wood, a living sculpture in this architectural prison. Her eyes are wide, terrified, but they are alive. They track something unseen in the suffocating darkness. Then, her hand impossibly begins to move. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, a frantic, desperate rhythm. So, back in the main room, the sound reaches Lynn. It's faint, muffled, but she knows it. It's the code she and Trang made up as kids, their secret language. The realization hits her like a physical blow. Trang. She's here. She's alive. The dam of composure Lynn has been desperately maintaining finally breaks. Sob tears from her throat, raw and anguished, and she collapses, her tears mixing with the dust and dried blood on the floor. Through her blurred vision, another figure materializes from the shadows. The old man, his face is a roadmap of sorrow, his eyes holding the exhaustion of centuries. He doesn't look at Lynn. His gaze is fixed on Nam, who still hasn't moved from his post at the grotesque window. The old man's voice is weary, a final resigned sigh. It's your turn now. The house itself seems to respond to his words. The air shimmers, and the scene dissolves into a flashback. We see a much younger Nam standing in this very same room years ago. He's panicked, his face pale with fear. Outside, through the doorway, we see the aftermath of an accident. Flashing lights, the crumpled hood of a car. A figure lying on the road, and Nam runs. He turns his back on the scene, on his responsibility, and flees into the night, letting the house swallow his secret. The truth floods the room, more potent than the unnatural light from the window. This house isn't just a structure, it's a vessel. It's a prison for the souls of those who died because of Nam's cowardice. Their lives cut short, their final moments tethered to this place by his guilt. They are the bricks and mortar of his sin. Overwhelmed, Lynn falls to her knees, the full weight of her own guilt crashing down on her. I locked the door. She confesses to the empty room, to the ghosts, to herself. I heard her screaming for me. But I locked the door. I was afraid. As her confession hangs in the air, the faceless child who had been a silent observer slowly turns its blank head toward her. The smooth, featureless surface begins to ripple, to shift. Indentations form, shadows deepen. A mouth, a nose, two eyes. The face that emerges from the void is achingly familiar. It's her younger sister, the one she left behind. A scream rips from Lynn's soul, a sound of pure, unadulterated horror and grief. It's not just a ghost. It's asterisk her asterisk ghost. The sister looks at Lynn, not with anger, but with a profound, eternal sadness. Her voice, no longer distorted, is clear, childlike, and cuts deeper than any knife. You didn't look at me. One last time, She just wanted her big sister to look back. One last time. As if fueled by Lynn's agony, the window erupts. The dim glow intensifies into a blinding, white-hot light. The house screams, a high-pitched shriek of tearing wood and cracking plaster. The entire structure shakes violently. The walls convulse, and with a sickening wet crunch, Trang is expelled from her prison, spat out onto the floor, where she lies limp and unconscious. The old man, his purpose served, his long watch finally over, simply dissolves. He crumbles into a cloud of dust that scatters and vanishes into the chaotic air. Nam finally turns from the window, his face illuminated by its brilliant, terrible light. Understanding dawns in his eyes, a grim and final acceptance. One person has to stay behind, he says, his voice steady. That's the price. One soul for another. The house demands a warden. He moves toward Lynn, his steps firm, resolute. He gently takes her arm, trying to guide her, and the still unconscious Trang toward the window, toward freedom. Go, he urges. You have to go. But Lynn shakes her head, tears streaming down her face. She clings to him, refusing to leave. No, not without you. Nam looks down at her, a faint, sad smile on his lips. He leans in and whispers his final secret. It's too late for me. I've already seen it. He looked into the truth, and he can never be the same. Can never leave. With a final, gentle push, he sends Lynn stumbling toward the light. Then he turns his back on salvation and walks deeper into the heart of the house. As he does, the brilliant light from the window contracts, fades, and winks out of existence, plunging the room back into absolute darkness. Lynn and Trang wake up to the feeling of cool grass and warm sunlight on their faces. They are lying in an empty, overgrown lot. The air is fresh, birds are singing. There is no house. There is nothing. It's just a vacant space where a nightmare once stood. Trang sits up, dazed, her hand going to her neck. Where is he? Where's Nam? Lynn doesn't answer. She can't. She just stares at the empty space, the ghost of the house imprinted on her vision, but we see, cut back inside the impossible space. The house still exists, just not in our world. Nam stands in the center of the dark room. But he's different. His shoulders are stooped, his face etched with an ancient weariness. He is the new old man, the new warden, and then he hears it, a sound he knows he will hear for eternity. A faint knocking on the front door? From the outside world he can never rejoin. The scene cuts one last time. We're watching a vlog. It's Lynn. She's sitting in a brightly lit room in front of a camera. She looks composed, but her eyes tell a different story. They hold a darkness that will never leave. She looks directly into the lens, directly at us. Her voice is calm, chillingly so. If you're watching this video, the house has already seen you. The screen cuts to black, complete silence for a beat, and then, knock, knock, knock. It's coming from your screen.